I forgot to mention that the new issue of MMT Trader is out. I sent it out last night. So if you're on the list, check your email list. You could also go to the website pitbulleconomics.com, click on the tab that says products, and you'll see a link down at the bottom that says current and back issues. Make sure you are logged in with your username and password. So there are things in my report that you are not going to find in any other report anywhere. And I'm not even talking about independently produced research. I'm talking about anywhere. It could be Goldman Sachs, Morgan Stanley, JP Morgan. You're not going to find it. You are not going to find it. First of all, I'm the guy who covers the fiscal flows. I'm an expert on analyzing and breaking down the daily Treasury statement. We see everything before anyone else. All right, we see everything before anyone else. For example, I started talking about the deceleration in bank credit and loans and leases way back, like last November, before anybody was talking about it. Now, on that note, let me mention in this report, and for those of you who are not subscribers, I would really recommend that you go to my website, pitbulleconomics.com, and you get a 30-day free trial. This is a very important report that I sent out yesterday. And because there have been some developments in bank credit, which are very, very, could be very, very meaningful and impactful for the economy. I'll just tell you right now that we have seen a very significant surge, increase in bank credit, and within that category, bank credit, it's really within loans and leases. And we saw a very big surge in commercial and industrial loans, a very big surge in real estate loans. And that has implications, okay? But more importantly, and thanks to a friend of mine he's a contributor to my blog. He's also a subscriber to the report. I've known this guy for a long time. We have found the link, a very, very important link between the banks and their asset accumulation, their lending capacity, etc., and activities of the Treasury in its normal course of operating, of functioning. That is, the receiving of tax deposits and then withdrawals to make payments. And the connection between those two, there's a very, very important dynamic that exists between the Treasury and the banking system. Obviously, I shouldn't even have to state that because, you're talking about trillions of dollars flowing back and forth between the Treasury when it removes cash reserves, right? And then when it spends, when it puts it back in there, those flows back and forth between the Treasury and the banking system, and then, also the interaction of the Fed in that, creates a very, very important dynamic that you need to understand. And if you do understand this, you are so far way ahead of the game that it's not even funny. Like nobody is really into this. Nobody really follows this at all. But it puts you so far ahead of the game that, forget it. It's like, Einstein talking to some kindergarten kid who's learning how to do 1 + 1. That's what it is. I don't even know how else to put it into context, but that's about the best way that I could do it. So we break it all down. We have really discovered the link between these things in a way that is highly practical. In other words, we can use it to trade and make money, not just some theoretical understanding, but highly practical, a way that we could see the mechanics of what is going on and what is going to happen way before anybody else by understanding the relationship and the interaction of these flows and how they impact things like lending. So, very important. That's why I would say if you don't have the report, you should absolutely get the 30-day free trial today. Go to pitbulleconomics.com. Go to my front page. It says get the 30-day free trial. if you have the report and if you need some further clarification, because I wrote up a big piece in today's issue, in this week's issue, if you need further clarification, elucidation on this, I'd be more than happy to do that for you. But this is big, man. This is big. You know, I've spoken in the past about, I've used the swimming pool analogy with the government and as the money pump into the swimming pool. But, there's also another pump going on here, which is the bank credit. It's not the same, all right? It's not the same as the government's pump. I mean, when the government puts water in, that's your water to swim in until it decides to take it out. When banks create credit, you could say it's putting the water in, but you're just borrowing that. You got to give that back, all right? But we know that bank credit at like almost 13 trillion, monetary base 2.5 trillion. So it's quite the amount larger. Monetary base about 4.5 trillion, about 3 times bank credit, about 3 times out of the monetary base. So we rely on that. And it has an impact on the economy, a very important impact on the economy. And if you could forecast that, if you know not even forecast, because forecast would imply, let's say, a certain amount of guessing. We know. It's like a mechanical system. We absolutely know. And we're not sitting around waiting for numbers that come every month or every week. I know every single day. Every single day I know. All right? So get the report, pitbulleconomics.com, and start to understand this for your own good. Or, if you want, you could stay in the dark and you could say things like, velocity, and you don't know what you're talking about. That's cool too, because then I just take your money. Bye.